Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today I'm going to be sharing a few decks with you that I feel are the absolute best to work with during spring. Now, these decks, of course, are good for any time of year, but when the trees are all growing and everything is coming alive, you want more joy in your life, you want more color, and you want that connection to nature. And the decks I'm going to be sharing with you today have just that. The first one I'm going to be sharing with you is the Groovy Waite. Now, this deck, it comes from England, I believe it is where I got it from, tarotcollectibles.com, and it's a version of the Rider-Waite Smith. But what makes this deck so much fun and so adorable are the colors that you see in this deck. I've had this deck for a few years, and I will admit that, when it came, shipped across the pond, as they say, it was a little bit dented, like the box was a little bit damaged and stuff, but it does not take away from the cards at all. Like, just look at that Three of Wands, the color and everything of it. It's so vibrant, so gorgeous, and so perfect for spring and summer, and even in winter and fall when things are a little bit dark and you need that happiness, you need that positivity, you need those vibrant, peaceful colors that put a smile on your face. So I'm going to flip through this deck and kind of give you an idea. I like how the fact that there's the Three of Wands and Four of Wands, it's really interesting to write side by side in the deck because, I didn't put it in order again. I've used this deck many times and I absolutely love its energy. Just look at that Four of Wands. The Four of Cups even. Said that like that. I'll just flip them over like that. But the Four of Wands or Five of Cups, that energy there, that purple and everything, the color of it kind of just brings more joy to this sadness card. And it's just so vibrant, so beautiful. This deck is absolutely incredible. Like, look at that. Look at those peace signs and everything on that plant right there as he has patience. It's so groovy. I mean, it's called the Groovy Waite, so of course it's groovy. I mean, even that Ten of Swords that we just looked at is groovier and happier and more positive. The vibrancy of that sun is even more stronger than we see in the original Rider-Waite Smith. King of Pentacles right here, that card is vibrant. I mean, I can just keep going through and telling you how absolutely psychedelic and fun this deck is. I love it. When I first saw it online, I was like, I must have this deck because it brings so much joy to life. Just so much color and everything. Like, look at that devil. He looks fun to hang out with, doesn't he? I mean, the devil is a negative card for most people. Spell devil backwards. You got to live your life. Don't get trapped by those vices and addictions that keep you from following your dreams. So it kind of says, be your weird self and don't care what anybody else thinks about it. The Seven of Swords, the thief card of the tarot, where he's going might be more fun where this is. The sun, look how colorful and joyful that sun is. That horse is kind of creepy to me though. I don't know why. The star right there, groovy, psychedelic, spacey. I don't know if that's actually a word, but I made it a word. Very spacey because she's like in another galaxy or in another planet working her magic and star power. The Nine of Pentacles right there. She looks very entertaining, very nature involved with the sun or the rainbow and everything right there. The Five of Swords, the victor or the victim card right there with that illustration. Each and every one of these is so unique and so cool, but it still is based on the Rider-Waite Smith. Like, how gorgeous is that Ace of Cups right there? Like, it's so much more vibrant than any other deck. I like how I have to keep flipping these over like this. I probably should have gone through the deck before I started and put all the cards upright so you'd look at the illustrations, but that's why we're here, flipping them over for you. But the High Priestess right there with her pinks and everything, and she's still got the Torah. She is missing the pillars, though, but you can kind of see the rainbow here. We can pretend those are pillars, right? Got the moon above and the moon below, reminding us that our dreams from above can be created even down here below. The Hermit is right here with this illustration. The King of Swords looks way more, happy? Like, more positive and everything, like more, again, groovy. I can't think of a better word here, like with his pinks and everything. It's just such a fun, whimsical deck. And I think it's so perfect for, if you've got festivals and things going on this time of year, if you're, wanting to get out there and do readings for the summer, then this is the deck. This is the deck for this time of year. Again, it's the deck for any time of year because it has that happiness and joy and vibrant colors that will put a smile on your face, even when you're looking at the card of lying awake at night worrying about the future. future. There's still a positive vibe to the illustration. Two of Cups, make love, not war. It reminds us, when we focus on that positivity, that happiness and everything, we can spring up new ideas, new potential, and be kind to one another. The Two of Cups doesn't have to be romantic partnerships. It's emotionally fulfilling partnerships in whatever form that might be. And the greatest one that we can have is that love for who we are, the one looking back at us in the mirror. And then we can find the partnerships and relationships that do bring us joy, because we trust ourselves and love ourselves enough to trust when we find that person. The Tower, still, the tower is on fire and it's doom and gloom and everything like that, but there's still like radiance coming from it, that joy and happiness. The Wish card of the tarot, there is the magic genie lamp. Like, they completely did this one different, and I love it, from the actual, Rider-Waite Smith version of the Nine of Cups. But there is that magic genie reminding you, we don't have a magic genie. It's all the experiences of our past that give us the power to make our wishes come true in the here and now. There is the World, the Knight of Pentacles right there, the Death card. The Death card is such a gorgeous card, and such an empowering message too, When we let go of what no longer serves us, the future is open for anything that we want to achieve. Taking those lessons with us can help us make those futures what we want them to be. Save your money for a rainy day, though, because, everything you want to achieve takes money. But that card is still, it's so whimsical and fun. The Page of Wands, so whimsical, so fun. Even the Seven of Wands right there, very fun, very outer spacey again, like sitting there defending what you're passionate about. And, well, you know me, I'm very, very passionate about the tarot and like all these different decks and everything. And I haven't gone through this deck for a while. Like, there is the Two of Wands, and it just kind of screams spring to me, because you've got the little mushroom houses down there and everything, and you're making the choice of what you want to plant right here, right now. Now, every single one of these illustrations, just, there's so much joy and happiness and vibrancy to it. And I don't know about you, but I definitely am looking for that in my life right now. And I'm reminded as I go through this deck just how much it can bring that joy into your life. Now, if they still, I believe Tarot Collectibles still has it available, but I will say it's a rather pricey deck. And plus, if you live in the States, then getting anything shipped over the pond, as they say, is going to be pricey in itself. A lot of times tarot decks like this from indie creators, not mass market, will they have to charge like an arm and a leg when it comes to the shipping. So even if you're paying like $75 maybe for this deck, I don't remember, I've had it for years, but if you're paying a hefty price, then you're probably going to pay probably close to half of that just for the shipping alone. But hey, if you want a reading with this deck and you want that joy brought into your life, then send me a message, comment on this video, or book one directly on my website and be like, I want that grooviness in my life, because we need that happiness, we need that joy, we need that, just that focus on the things that bring us joy, so we can find more joy in our life and in our lives. And this deck definitely brings that joy into my life. It's just so much fun. I probably should have waited to do this one for last, but no, I've got a couple more that I want to share with you too. This one was the Rider-Waite Smith based, and it's groovy, and it's putting me in a better mood, because I wasn't in the best mood when I first woke up today. But here, the Three of Swords, there you see the sadness and everything, but it still has that Rider-Waite Smith thing, but it says, you can find that joy when you let go of the anger and the despair. The Hanged Man, he's enjoying himself, having fun, hanging around. Even the Five of Pentacles has a little bit of joy connected to it. The Fool, which is the card on the front of the box. But yeah, there you have it. But the Fool is just, you see that happiness and everything right in that illustration. The Ace of Wands, that purple and everything, it's not just passion going, it's that wisdom we've accrued, the logical side of what we're achieving too. The Six of Wands, of celebrating our victories, no matter how small that might be. Judgment, forgiving ourselves for the past and letting go of the past, so we can take those lessons, trust our intuitions, and achieve the success of the world. The Knight of Wands, our flighty knight, still, he's focused. He's living in the 70s and enjoying life. Temperance there, the card that follows the Death card in the sequence. She's taking all that she's learned from the past and applying it to the next chapter, changing her life for the better. The Seven of Cups, the card of choices, and I love this illustration because, They might think that we have our heads in the clouds, but we're taking that time to decide which choice feels right to us. Here is the Empress with her adorable cat, because, you know, it's not just about creating actual life, it's bringing happiness and joy to the lives around us as well. So that's a gorgeous illustration. Even the Two of Pentacles, which isn't necessarily, or two, I saw the peace sign, I thought Pentacles, but no, Two of Swords, Two of Swords. Not necessarily that fun of a card, but you can see the rainbows and everything here. You know, she's taking that time to look inward so she can trust herself, so she can find the strength to go after her dreams. Like every single one of these illustrations, there's the Lovers, there's the Eight of Swords, still fun, outer spacey. Yeah, I'm now making that a word, outer spacey. But you see, like, that feeling of being trapped is still very much there. But as spring begins, as we have this new opportunity to start anew with life growing, nature growing, and everything, you know, this deck can help us find that joy, help us find that happiness that we deserve. And the last card that I have, you know, because I didn't shuffle it and I just took it out of the box, is the Queen of Pentacles. And look at all her peacocks and peafowls and everything there. It's just such a wonderful deck, and one that I just think is perfect, absolutely perfect for the time of year that I'm making this video, even the time of year when it's cold and dreary and everything, and you need that happiness and joy. Now, speaking of spring and nature and everything like that, the second deck that I'm going to share with you, if I don't drop it, is the Three Trees Tarot by Oak, Ash, and Thorn. Stephanie Burrows and Adam Olliers. Really bad at pronunciation, I promise. I apologize if I messed that up. But this deck, again, is not mass market and actually comes from England. So, like I said with that Groovy Waite, be prepared if you want this deck to pay the exorbitant fees that come with buying things overseas. That rhymed. You see here, you don't actually have a guidebook. You didn't have one with the Groovy Waite either. But you have the information right here, the little keywords, if you need them, that can help inspire it. Now, this deck, the backgrounds on them, because you see, like, right here with this card, the background here is very autumn, very fall colors. And there you have the thank you, your purchase made our day kind of card. But the illustrations, it's the prettiest nature deck that I have ever seen, and I'm so happy to have this in my collection. It was actually a gift, so I couldn't tell you how much it is or anything like that, because someone was just nice enough to give it to me, so thank you. Thank you, Wise Owl Tarot, because this deck is just absolutely gorgeous. Not necessarily a fan of this card right here, because it's literally a crow getting stabbed by a bunch of swords, but hey, it is the Ten of Swords, so expect that with that card. There is the Knight of Swords. The whole sword suit in this deck is, it's either crows or ravens. I'm not 100%. I'm never good. Like, it kind of looks like a raven with the feathers there that kind of look like fingers. So perhaps it's ravens. But the sword suit is all ravens. The major arcana is different illustrations right here. Like, there is the Empress as a rabbit, which totally makes sense because rabbits are known for fertility. There we go. There is the Tower, the Two of Wands. You know, he's sitting there deciding, should he stay or should he go across that pond right there? Beautiful illustration. All of these, I mean, obviously they're not as bright as the Groovy Tarot, but they have so much to offer. There's such a peaceful, calm energy to each and every one of these illustrations. Like, look at that adorable little mouse as the Hanged Man. Those squirrels working together for the Three of Cups. The Queen of Cups, so we know the squirrels are the suit of cups right here. There you have the squirrel as the Queen of Cups. The Death card, you know, there's no death in this illustration. It's beginning anew, rising from the past, and that's such a fantastic message right there. Knight of Wands is right there with the suit of fire and passion with the fox right there. The Fool is a baby deer, like a fawn. How adorable is that with its little butterfly and everything? Six of Wands, you know, wand suit, foxes. There is that illustration, as well as the Ace of Wands has the fox. And you know, when you think of spring and you think of nature and everything, you think of these creatures and the offspring that they bring. I mean, obviously I'm talking about spring here, so it's not offspring as well at all. I guess we could call it on spring. That would make sense. Here is the Star card with the fish and everything. Again, as I go through these decks, I'm just floored by how absolutely gorgeous these illustrations are. And again, like, it's not mass market at all. It's very much indie. I'm sure, although you shouldn't do this at all, that if you type this into like Google or Amazon, then you're going to find probably a counterfeit version of this deck. It's not going to cost as much, but the texture of the cards, you're not going to get that. But look at that High Priestess and the owl it is, reminding us that owls, you know, have wisdom. She's even got like a scroll right there, like the High Priestess from the Rider-Waite Smith. The Emperor is this massive, incredible buck. Awesome illustration. The Three of Wands is that fox that we saw with the Two of Wands, but now he's turned around, he's made his decision, and he's going to embark into that forest right there. The Queen of Wands is that beautiful fox right there. The Hierophant is this adorable little owl. The Seven of Cups is this squirrel with a lot of choices of what to do with his acorns. The Page of Pentacles, the Pentacles is the rabbit suit. You have that illustration right there, as well as the rabbit of the Nine of Pentacles. The Devil card is two foxes entrapped by all these vines and everything. And I like that moth up there. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's just such a massive moth and such a beautiful creature as well. I mean, the talent that went into this deck, the illustrations and everything, these people that created it, I mean, it's just such a talent that I'm rather jealous of, to be honest with you, because I cannot for the life of me draw. But each and every one of these, the time they took into it. Like, look at that magician and that raven right there. It's incredible. The Eight of Pentacles, grabbing that coin right there, working for what they want to achieve. It's incredible. There is the King of Swords, who is that gorgeous raven again. Five of Cups right there, you know. The card of loss, and well, we saw it with the Five of Cups in the Rider or Groovy Waite too, but you see he's very focused on what's been lost, but there's still things that remain. So it reminds us, even when we feel like we've lost it all, there's still happiness to be found. We can take that useful information and begin again with that Page of Swords. Drive our chariots forward with the snail on this bird's head. It's kind of, there's cards in here that's kind of whimsical as well. Here is the Judgment card, flying free from the past, judging ourselves fairly. There is the Eight of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the Sun, that beautiful card. I love the fact that there's actually rain on this card as well, because it reminds us that sometimes we have to find the joy ourselves, find that sun within, and believe that positivity and happiness can be waiting for us. This Ten of Cups is right here with the happy family of squirrels, the Eight of Wands, Four of Wands right there with two foxes, and you've got a couple cards in here. I don't know where the other one's in here somewhere too, but there's no actual tarot card here. So instead of 78 cards, you've got 80 that you can let this illustration inspire you to mean whatever you want it to mean. Like this little mouse right here, he's ready for these new opportunities. You don't know what's awaiting. But when you trust yourself and you scurry forward, taking action on what you want, and you trust your intuition, anything is possible. Three of Pentacles follows that one right there with that illustration of the rabbits. Here is another one of those cards. This might be the only other one. I think there's 80 in here. But that fox right there, you know, he's in this darkness. He's in this like obstacle course of grass. He can't see his way forward, but he's not giving up, reminding us we shouldn't give up either, even when we find ourselves down on our luck with nowhere to turn. The Four of Cups reminds us that our boredom, times of boredom when we don't know what to do, can help us like appreciate the strong foundations that we have, and we can focus on something new perhaps. The Two of Cups reminds us of that energy of fulfilling partnerships, not necessarily romantic, but emotionally fulfilling and working together. Beautiful illustration again. All of these illustrations are beautiful. Perfect for the time of spring, you know, as life becomes more beautiful. I swear, you know, living through winter and all of that like darkness and everything and all the cold, like the grass and everything was brown. It was depressing. And now when you look at the windows and everything and you look outside and you walk outside, you see that the grass and everything is coming alive, that bright, brilliant green. that people will eventually, well, very, very soon, they've already started, there's the world, but they've already started like mowing their grasses and everything, because that's something that you just have to keep doing all through spring and summer. There's the Queen of Swords, the Seven of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune. I love this illustration, it's beautiful. The Five of Swords is right there. The Seven of Swords, see, all the sword suits are all a corvid. We can call it a corvid because a corvid includes crows, ravens, magpies, and all kinds of other like birds. I think aren't blue jays corvids too? I don't remember if that's true or not. There is the King of Cups, the Nine of Wands, Seven of Pentacles right there. I love it. Like they tell you like the Seven of Pentacles is the card of patience. Don't give up. It's not time for rest necessarily. It's time to just appreciate where you are and keep going. And this Seven of Pentacles says, no, you deserve a break. You've worked really hard. Continue to have that patience, but don't feel like you have to do anything right now. I really like that. Now, this is one of those Oracle cards as well. So maybe, I guess there's 81 cards in here at least. Possibilities is the name on that card, and there's so much you can do with this illustration and just that word. So I love that. The Hermit right there is an adorable little hedgehog. The Ace of Swords is that raven. Yeah, see, the feathers are very handsy because he's got like the little, separated feathers. So this probably, most likely, I'd say they are ravens. But he's got that crown and everything. He knows that he can achieve his goals and he's going to rise above the doubt and anxiety and take his idea and run with it. Temperance is right here with the swan. The moon is this adorable little squirrel all curled up. The Six of Cups are these nice little squirrels right here all working together, reflecting on all the nuts and acorns that they've gathered in the past. The Six of Swords, the card of peace and harmony, probably one of the most positive cards of the suit of swords, is right here reminding us of a new day. And how adorable is that little baby raven? There is the Two of Pentacles right there. The Ten of Pentacles. The Knight of Cups. I love that illustration. He's like, please help me fill my cup up. I know you're going to make me happy. The Nine of Swords is right here. Justice with that wolf right there. So the entire major arcana is different animals and everything. But when we think of nature and stuff, we definitely think of animals, right? In this deck, I have quite a few different versions of animal decks, but none are quite as beautiful as this deck right here. That is the deck with the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Cups. And with that, we have through the, I'm honestly not sure if this is the Three Trees Tarot or the Oak, Ash, and Thorn Tarot. I don't know which one is which one's the name of the company, and which one's the name of the deck. But either way, this is an absolutely incredible deck. And you want to keep it nice and safe in this box. And moving on, we're going to keep talking about like nature decks with the Animsystic Tarot. This one is mass market, so you can find it pretty much wherever decks are sold, and the illustrations in this deck, I know I've shared it recently too, because it just came into my life not too long ago, but the illustrations in this deck, it's not animal, it's straight nature, and just look at it. Look how absolutely gorgeous it is. These sides and everything. This deck is absolutely beautiful. It's not really beginner friendly, I'd say, but it's like the Rider-Waite Smith I shared, the Groovy Waite, would definitely be, I'd say, beginner style. And even the Oak, Ash, and Thorn Three Trees Tarot could probably be a beginner's too. This deck, maybe not so much. That chariot, driving your chariot forward makes total sense. The Magician, on the other hand, perhaps not. But that doesn't take away from the fact that these cards are absolutely incredible. I'm going to have to keep... Apparently, it's back and forth, because there, the Queen of Pentacles is upright, but the Ace of Pentacles is not. Followed by the World, again, is not. But still, like, when you're speaking of spring and decks that are just perfect for this time of year, this deck is definitely one that I would say, like, just look at this Emperor here with the geometry and everything of a leaf. It's fascinating. Like, and the Hanged Being here with the chrysalis of the butterfly, like, this deck screams spring more than any other deck that I've shared so far. I think there is the Six of Swords with all those flowers, the Page of Wands with all the fireflies right there. Here in West Virginia, we call them lightning bugs. And it's one of the most incredible sights in the world. When I was a kid, I loved catching them. Even to this day, I love just, hold your hand out and you just let them land on your hand. Do not squeeze, and do not do what my mother told me to do when I was a kid and I lost my stuff. I cried so hard when she did this. She ripped its little butt out and said, "Here, I made you a ring." Not okay. Not okay at all, but you know, illustration here. It's safe to enjoy, right? The Fool right here with this nice little swirl in the middle, so showing the potential that the Fool represents. The Devil, that flower being trapped by all those vines and everything. The Six of Pentacles, that card right there, like the harvest and everything, being able to share. So I suppose, yeah, this deck could be very much beginner friendly because it has potential to be, but at the very, like, if you're a seasoned reader or something, this deck is not going to be a problem at all. It's going to speak to you if you love nature and everything. I cannot recommend this deck enough. Like I said, it's mass market, so if you don't want to spend bukus of money buying decks from overseas, this deck is definitely one that's going to be a little bit nicer to your wallet. There is the Two of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, the Empress. Again, I love making videos like this because it reminds me why I love the decks in my collection. It gives you a chance to see the decks in my collection too. Now, every single one of these decks that I'm sharing with you today, I have more than likely made an unboxing video of them. But you know, then you don't actually see them all at once. And so if you click on this video and you watch it, you're like, oh, hey, I have decks too that I think would be perfect for spring. And then, you know, the idea continues. The Lovers there, very complicated illustration, but it's like the Lovers becomes one feeling because they've come together. So that's really fun. Five of Pentacles right there. There's the flame and everything. The fire in the woods and everything. And that's definitely showing down on your luck for all the animals that call that home. Three of Wands right here with the river and everything. Showing those three wands on the right. You know, moving forward with our passion and ideas. The High Priestess is this gorgeous tree right here. It reminds me of Avatar. Like the giant tree in the first Avatar movie that could like speak and everything and everybody lived around and stuff. It was the mother. It was knowing. It was the tree of wisdom. And that's just, it reminds me of that beautiful illustration. Again, all of these illustrations are beautiful. Like look at those mushrooms with justice. Look at that rock and the water in it and everything of strength. Look at the moon right here. It's like got High Priestess vibes with those three versions, like the waxing, the full, and the waning. I always remember it waxing and waning. Like the waxing is before the full moon and the waning is after. And by doing this, I say waxing on and waning off. That's how I remember it. So I just thought I'd share that. But there's the moon. There's the King of Pentacles as a bumblebee in a beautiful, beautiful garden. The Hermit as this awesome glowing acorn. That'd be cool to find. I wouldn't want to take it though because it's like it belongs. It's giving that tree life. It's gorgeous. The Ten of Swords, bones and everything like that. But it's like the clouds are dissipating. You're going to find happiness again. You're going to move forward. Judgment is a fire in the middle of the forest, you know, taking account for what you've done in the past so that you can forgive yourself for it and move forward. Four of Pentacles right here is kind of telling you to like save your money with all those acorns in the middle, I think. The King of Swords here is that butterfly showing rising above, using logic to make decisions. I definitely get that energy from that card. The Knight of Cups, that jellyfish and everything. What an absolutely gorgeous illustration. Reminding you to go into that ocean of emotion and learn what makes your heart sing so you can let that heart lead you forward. Here is the Ace of Cups. The Temperance card, again, beautiful. The colors of this deck are just like no other. It's kind of dark. It's kind of creepy. But at the same time, the way that the author of this deck created it and drew it, Willow Faye, right there on the box. You know, there's so much, it brings the cards to life because of the black backgrounds. The Knight of Pentacles is right there. What a perfect depiction right there with the bumblebee again. The Six of Cups right there, the card of nostalgia. Then the Ace of Wands right there, growing from the past. Like the way that the trees and everything and the crystals and stuff. There's so much to like speak to you, so much to inspire you with this deck. There's the bee tree. I can't remember what that's called right now, but yeah, the bee nest, that works. And the pentacle right there, you know, growing, working hard, maybe collaborating even as you begin something new. Here is the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Cups with this gorgeous waterfall, the 3 of Cups with these gorgeous flowers. See, it's not like the 3 Trees Tarot, Oak, Ash, and Thorn Tarot with, you know, each animal did a different suit. No, this is just such a, it's a fun deck, but each illustration has a similar theme, but it's all different. There is the 5 of Swords, the 8 of Swords, the Death card there with the tree all cut down and everything. The Sun card is right there with all those beautiful, vibrant flowers. The Page of Swords also has flowers, and it kind of gives me Sword in the Stone vibes right there. The 8 of Cups with that water and everything. Such a gorgeous deck, and really, I think this deck is so perfect for this time of year and for spring. There is the Knight of Wands right there with a single firefly. Just beautiful. It's like, you know, going off onto something new. What lights your inner fire, or as the, you know, lightning bug firefly kind of does, what, you know, lights your butt. Yep. The 3 of Swords is right here with this illustration. We've suddenly gotten all reversed again. Fun times. There is the Queen of Cups. How gorgeous is that illustration? The 7 of Cups, the card of choices right there. And all of those cups can represent a choice. You know, what fills it? What do you want to follow? Where do you want to drive your chariot? There's the should I stay or should I go card of the 2 of Wands. You know, do you want to stay here on land, or do you want to move forward? The Ace of Swords is right here showing the potential, you know, to drive our ideas forward. The 7 of Swords, the Thief card of the tarot. Those plants have definitely stolen those swords right there, haven't they? The 10 of Pentacles right there. Beautiful illustration again. Who am I kidding? All of these illustrations are gorgeous. Not like my video last week, and I was like, I'm disappointed with these decks. No, none of the decks that I'm sharing with you today are decks that disappoint me. These are all decks that are just, they go above and beyond and just have such a beautiful energy to them, each and every one of them. I mean, if you're doing like dark shadow work and stuff like that, you can totally use a deck like this because it's going to bring light to that darkness. And that's exactly what this deck did. All of these decks, like, it brings beauty to the just nature and life itself, and it makes you remember that you can find that happiness and joy if you truly try and you face that darkness and bring it to light, and you don't let what other people think bring you down. There's the 4 of Swords. That was the Tower. You know, that tree is going to probably go. Actually, you look at this illustration. I'm going to look at it a little bit more clearly. You see the smoke and everything there, and you see the water coming and the flames. The water is going to put out those flames. So maybe this story has a happy ending after all. 4 of Swords is right there when you want to rest, you know, in the deep kind of energy of winter. So you can take that time to decide what you want to spring up in spring. And we end with the 5 of Wands. The box, very well made box with that magnetic closure. So I really enjoy that. If I can not knock the cards over. The background of those cards are absolutely gorgeous and springish as well. I'm going to set that one back in if I can. And I'm going to share one more with you, and then I'll send you on your way. There's so many decks that would fit for those. I thought about sharing more, but I'll just finish with an Oracle deck. And then I'll send you on your way because, you know, you have a life, you want to do things. And I want you to be able to go out there and enjoy nature and, you know, go out there and shop for decks if you want to, too. The last deck that I'm going to share with you is the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. Beltane is smack in the middle of spring. I want to say it's May 1st. I don't know if that's completely right. But, you know, this is the time when people had the maypole and everything. They had that, you know, they dressed up as fairies and had fun, and it just screams spring. Like, look at all the bumblebees and everything. The back of the deck here, definitely springy. The gold and everything of the edges here, this is definitely what I call gilded edges right there. Look how it shines. It's so pretty. But we're going to look at the illustrations. The guidebook for this deck, definitely needed when it comes to Oracle decks, and it's very packed with information here, so definitely great deck. If you don't even know what the cards mean, it's fine. You've got a guidebook. A lot of these decks that I shared, the Animsystic Tarot is the only one I've shared that actually has a guidebook, which can come in handy with that deck because it's not like completely intuitive. The Groovy Waite, definitely, you know, if you know the Rider-Waite Smith, you know the Groovy Waite. But again, not in order because I work with it. Here's Primal, followed by Creation right there. See, this deck 100% screams Christmas. Wow. No, it 100% screams spring. Like, there is the cow, and it's not just any cow. It's one of the coolest cows out there, a Highland cow. Now, my personal favorite cow in the world is a Longhorn. And I've always been fascinated with the Texas Longhorns football team, the college football team, because they have a bull, or it's a steer, I think. A steer, it was a bull, and then they took a part off of it, then it could no longer breed. So it's no longer a bull. But this bull, I don't know what they do to it to make it so docile. It's probably horrific, and I shouldn't even say I think it's interesting to see it or anything. But this giant bull, or giant steer with these horns that are like 7 feet long, just lays on the side of the football field and chews its cud. It's just the coolest thing in the world to me, and it's fascinating. This massive creature with these giant horns can be so docile and everything. It's fascinating, and it's such a pretty creature too. Okay, we've moved forward off of the bull, or off of the cow, and moved to bonfire right there. Each of these illustrations too, you can see the words down here at the bottom, like self-worship, for example, says, "My hands fold as I speak to the stars, watching as the sky holds its breath. It's in stillness that I find that I am and all of divinity within me." I love that message, and that illustration is gorgeous too. Each of these illustrations are absolutely beautiful. And if you're looking for that perfect, look at that goat, that goat's horns, awesome. But if you're looking for that perfect oracle deck to work with this time of year in spring, this is probably the best one. I believe I think it's Rockpool makes this deck. Yeah, there's the back of the box with Rockpool. But they make every single witchy holiday, every single one of the wheel of the year, different ones. So there are other decks relating to spring too. I think they make an Austera too, but I do not have that one yet. I just have this one. I have the Samhain one, and I have the Yuletide one. Or Winter Solstice. So this one is the one that I use this time of year. I think I need to find the one that represents, because I have fall, winter, spring. I need the summer one, I guess. There is the card for Fae. Here is the card for orgasm right there. Because, that's important, bringing that joy to yourself. You don't necessarily need somebody else, but, it releases tension and everything. So there's that illustration. And, spring is the time that, nature is coming alive, and that involves life too. There is a embodiment, there is chant, ribbons, because maypole is all the ribbons dancing and everything. Oak is right here with this illustration. He looks fast asleep, but it says, "Don't just look within, dive deeply into the eternal realms of knowing." So yes, close your eyes, breathe within, and take that time to learn the secrets of your soul. There is sex magic. There is a lot, Beltane, that was the green man and someone else. I can never remember things when I'm trying. But the two lives coming together to create life. The sun bringing that joy into life. Love spell is right here with this illustration. Vision is to find enlightenment and find enlightenment, seek nowhere, for it lives within you. Beautiful illustration. There is the bee with those wings. I'd love that. It'd be so cool to actually have wings like that look like that, right? It'd be fun. Here is sacrifice. Wildcat. Looks kind of creepy if you ask me, that lion does right there. Green Man is right here. We were just talking about him, and it says, "All that I desire comes to me easily and effortlessly. I know this to be true, for I am abundant in all that I do." So that mantra can help us, find that confidence to make our desires become a reality. Here is honey. Again, slightly creepy illustration right there. Indulgence is right here, reminding us there's so much to appreciate this time of year. Here's Pegasus, and it says, "Break free, dear one, spread wide and far. You aren't containable, you are limitless." Here is the Maiden, who is the character on the front of the box in the guidebook. "Demand what is yours and take back what was taken. Reclaim until you've gathered all of you." Such an empowering message. And here the Maypole, "I am fertile in what I seed, for there is reason to dance and drink upon the riches I receive." So if you're looking for an empowering deck, an empowering oracle deck, this one is 100% fantastic. I'll be working with it a lot in the coming months. I'll probably take it with me to festivals and stuff, because it has such beautiful illustrations, and it speaks so highly of spring with my little painted things here. Hello, spring. Yes, I took time one time. I found all these like little wooden pieces and I was like, ooh, those are perfect. I'm going to use them in my readings and stuff for spring because it brings that joy to the world. It brings that life to my readings, I feel like. It's just extra color, I guess. There is surrender, the lovers right there, and I like how it's 42 right there, so it does connect back to that 6 of the lovers of the major arcana. Here is Phoenix, rising above, finding that strong foundation because we began creating it. Fire Festival is right here, reminding us that Beltane is the time when we build a fire, you know, letting go, burning all the things of our past that no longer serve us. Manifestation is right there. 23, you know, 5. Manifesting change into our lives. Sometimes they come as a breeze upon your fingertips. At other times they dwell in the depths of your soul. It is a dance between you and spirits as the magic unfolds. Beautiful, beautiful words on that card. Here's Morning Dew. What stillness does the silence bring? One steadiness bring? Or what stillness does the silence of one steadiness bring? Yeah, I kind of worded that differently when I first said it. But there is that illustration. Milk and butter with that illustration. Rowan right here. There is no need to fear, dear one. Be protected you are and protected you will always be. So it's a very important message right there. And it kind of goes back to that tree that I talked about with the Animistic Tarot from the Avatar movie that says kind of that same thing. You know, trees are important. Spring, nature is important. We should appreciate it more. And last but certainly not least is growth right here. 16, you know, overcoming obstacles give us growth. That 16 relates to the Tower of the Major Arcana of the Tarot, saying, you know, those things that didn't kill us made us stronger. And inside myself, I've sown beauty with wounds, which speaks of my immortality in the expansive, eternal song, softly bellowing in spirit. So such an empowering, awesome deck. So, so perfect for the time of year that I am making this video. Because I needed this. I needed this joy in my life, and you know, maybe you did too. So this deck, highly recommend. All the decks that I'm sharing with you today, highly recommend. They're so fun, so just beautiful. Some of the most beautiful decks in my collection. There is a video I've made that are beautiful decks in my collection that show different ones too, because I have a lot of decks at this point, but there is that one, the Animistic Tarot. I'll set it like there. And of course, not to forget the awesomeness, wonderfulness, fun, whimsicalness of the Groovy Waite Tarot. So as always, I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing all these different decks, and really, if you want a reading with absolutely any of them, please comment on this video, message me on the socials, or book one directly on my website, letting me know which of the decks that you want to use. Any of the decks in my tarot collection are available. You know, if you're looking for that empowering, inspiring message, you know where to look. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.